Reddit thread. I find this very entertaining, and hopefully with in whispered format you can find it a little bit more relaxing than the people who do it on podcast. This idea is from the Two Hot Takes podcast, so I think that's the main one that does this. Her name is Morgan. She's very good at reading stories, and she always has a guest with her. I highly suggest that podcast if you enjoy this. So let's just jump right into it. I haven't read any of these yet. I haven't even really looked for stories for this because I wanted to be surprised. So let's just go to the first one we see. This one was posted 3 hours ago. AITAH. And when I say that, that means am I the asshole? For having my birthday party somewhere else to avoid inviting my stepsister. I'm a 17-year-old female. My parents split up when I was 11, and I split time between them. I prefer living with my dad, but my mom put up a giant fuss when I asked, so to make things easier on my dad, I dropped it. They don't get along very well to start with. My mom started dating Dan 3 years ago, and they got married this year. Dan has 2 kids who live full-time with him, Amy, a 15-year-old female, and Ty, a 12-year-old male. Since their mom is gone. So Dan has 2 kids who live full-time with him since their mom is gone. I get along pretty well with Ty, but Amy drives me insane. Both of them are autistic, but are different in how it affects them, I guess. Ty is quiet and kind and Ty is quiet and kind. I didn't realize I was gonna have such a hard time reading. Here we go. Ty is quiet and kind of minds his own business unless you get him started on something he's interested in. Amy is loud and annoying and constantly bothering me or getting in the way of stuff I'm trying to do. I have to share a room with her right now until the basement is fixed up, which means I can get away from her when I'm at my mom's house. Amy has no friends, so my mom and Dan have been trying to force her into my friend group, basically. At first, it was just, hey, why don't you take Amy with you? And now I can't hang out with my friends on Mom's week without Amy being involved, because she cried about not being allowed to eat lunch with us at school. So I don't bring any friends to my mom's house anymore or go out and do anything. I just wait till the next week. My birthday was last week. I usually have a sleepover with my friends at whoever's house I'm staying at that weekend. But this time it fell at my mom's weekend, and I knew my mom and Amy were going to throw the whole vibe off. So I told my mom I just wanted a family dinner instead of a party, and then planned the sleepover at my dad's the next weekend. It was great, we had a lot of fun. But Amy saw a group picture of us. One of my friends posted and got upset that she wasn't invited, and my mom and Dan are really mad at me for excluding her. They said that she has a hard time with social stuff, and now that we're family, I should want to help her out. But my friends hate her, and I don't like spending time with her either. I get that she's lonely and has a hard time, but I don't think I should have to blow up my social life just because she can't be normal. Man, this is hard. It's not really your responsibility to... It's not really your responsibility to make your friends like someone, like your sibling, honestly. Especially if you're putting them in an uncomfortable situation. But also you feel for this girl who has, like, it sounds like she's autistic. Has a hard time making friends. Let's see what some of the comments say. I haven't really made up my mind about what to think about it yet. My husband has a sister who is on the spectrum, and just interesting how different people present differently. And usually, I feel like these days, if you tell people, like, hey, this person is on the spectrum, just, like, be nice to them, most people are more than happy to hang out with them. So honestly, her friends kind of sound like assholes if they, like, really hate her. Okay, the top comment says it has 1.2k, so 1,200 upvotes. I got a burp. It says, you aren't her parent. You are not responsible for her. You should not be treated like her emotional support animal. If you can stay full-time at your father's, do it. Check laws in your area. Learn to gray rock. That is something I've never heard of before. Let me look it up. Oh. What does gray rock mean? It's a metaphor for a way to deflect and or diffuse further abuse from a partner, a family member, even a coworker. The gray rock method is when a person who is enduring abuse purposefully acts as boring as possible during encounters with their abuser. I mean, that's really sad, but also, like, kind of genius. Just act really boring. Someone says most states allow minors over 16 to choose which parent they want to stay with regardless of the original custody agreement. It's going to hurt mom's feelings big time, but she's the one responsible for how she handles her feelings. Sounds like being at dad's is better for your mental health. Yeah. I wonder if anyone has a different opinion. Yeah, everyone's just telling her. So everyone is saying, yeah. Oh, here's someone that says, so this has 140 upvotes. This post is still relatively new, so it'll be interesting to see it in a few days. See what people say. But this one says, I feel a bit sorry for Amy, but her social life is not your responsibility. Your mom is too demanding, plain and simple. Oh, do you hear my stomach? You need to lay down firmer boundaries. Tell her if she doesn't back off, you're going to stop spending time at her place at all. You're old enough to make that decision, and you'll be an adult before long. Yeah. Okay. I agree, I guess. I still feel bad for the sister if she has a hard time with making friends, but it's kind of overstepping to tell, like, your older teenage daughter. Okay, this one is a lot older, so maybe we will get some more good comments. Am I the asshole because I won't tell my wife what my son / her stepson has in savings from it? Okay, let's start over. Am I the asshole because I won't tell my wife what my son, who is her stepson, has in savings from my late wife? My wife 40s and I 40s have a blended family. I have a 16-year-old son with my late wife. My wife has a 13-year-old daughter and a 12-year-old son with her ex-husband, and they share custody. We have a 4- and 2-year-old together. Wow, that's a lot of kids. So they have a 16-year-old son from the past wife, a 13-year-old daughter, and a 12-year-old son with her ex-husband, and they share custody. Oh, yeah. So the 13-year-old and the 12-year-old are from the wife's side, and then they also together had a 4- and 2-year-old. Wow. So 3, 4, 5 kids. And, like, that's quite the split in ages. My brother has teenagers and then a baby. And it's kind of crazy. Actually, it works out really well because the teenagers, like, love hanging out with the baby, but it's still, like, a crazy dynamic. It's very loud in that house. When my late wife was sick, she told me she wanted a percent of the compensation she was issued for her medical misdiagnosis to go to her son's savings. She also had a second savings account she wanted to add to it. This on top of what the two of us had saved for him before her illness. I honored her wishes and I continued saving for our son's future. This is a promise I made to my late wife that I stood by. I also promised I would protect it and make sure it was only ever for him and nobody else. Sounds like you know what to do, my guy. I just have a feeling. I have a feeling this is gonna go really bad. Like, is the new wife going to... Okay, we have to keep going. Is the new wife going to try and convince him to give the money to her? When my present wife and I started seriously dating, we talked about what saving would look like for our kids if/when we married. We knew I had always saved, as had my late wife. We didn't discuss how much either of us had saved for our existing kids, but we agreed to an amount every month that would be saved for all three. And this was talked about again when we had children together. I'm breathing hard today. I haven't been feeling well. Let's continue though. Recently, there's been a lot of stress on my wife. Her ex has refused to discuss my stepkid's savings and if he pays anything or not. She also feels like we haven't been able to save enough every month like promised because it was just one thing after another. There are months we've missed because of things beyond our control. Life stuff mostly, like things breaking, etc. A few weeks ago, my wife told me we should put all the cards on the table and discuss what all 5 kids have and decide how we proceed with making sure everyone gets what they need for the future. I told her I would happily discuss what I have saved for my oldest, but I would not be discussing the money left by his mom. She pushed back on it and said that all money should be taken into consideration. I told her we don't know what all the money is. I told her we don't know what all the money is. I don't know what that means. I said our parents could be saving money for the kids' future. Her ex could have saved money for my stepkids. His parents could have saved money for... His parents could have money for my stepkids. We can't say for certainty what everyone will have at the end, and it's only fair to discuss what she and I have and can save. She told me it sounds like I don't trust her. I responded by asking why she wants to know this so badly. By only talking about what we've saved, we're on an even footing. She told me if we knew everything, we could focus on the kids who will have less, a little more. That are younger too, who are probably going to be the worst off long term. And she'll be opening to combining all the money and dividing it. I told her I was not on board with that, and what my son has from his mom is not going to be shared or used for any of our other kids. Okay, good. That's what I was worried about. We argued about it, but I refused to say. She feels like that's wrong. When we're married, I told her it's not my money, nor is it our money or money that we can or should be accessing. It's from my late wife to her son, and that's all there is to it. My wife said she feels like I'm keeping her in the dark and not trusting her with something important. She said it cuts her ability to fully engage in conversation we need to be able to have and decisions we need to make as a couple. I'm really interested to see what the comments say because I'm definitely on the guy's side in this. You should probably tell your wife just because like being open with your partner is really important. Open and communicative, but like that whatever the late wife had ready for the son, their son, should have nothing to do with what him and his wife do going forward. And like, yeah, it's not anyone's money except the son's. Okay, this is the top comment. It has 7,000 upvotes. If the amount is sizable, and it sounds like it is, that money should have been put in a trust for your kid. If the money right now is just earmarked for your son, it could be considered as part of your assets in a case of a divorce. Well, that's terrifying. Okay, I mean, there's a lot of comments. It probably depends where you live. Also, if OP dies, it would go straight to his wife, and she could decide to cut the kid out altogether. Oh my god, that's terrible. This is so important. OP needs to move it now. Even in the case of a will, judges can and have overruled wills before. There's no guarantee unless it's in the son's name already. I don't see any comments from OP. That's unfortunate. It's been 24 days. You would expect there to be an update. This comment has 7,300 upvotes. My uncle took the money left to his children after my aunt's passing, which he specifically left for her children. Now none of them speak to him. All 3 kids will never speak to their father again. He's a pariah, not allowed at family functions, and not allowed to see his grandchildren. All he has is his nagging wife, no family. Her children barely speak to them as well. Hope it was all worth it. That's terrible. Money does like crazy things to people, eh? It's your son's money. This is a comment that has 16,000 upvotes. It's your son's money from his mother. Full stop, end of story. 4 out of your 5 kids have 2 parents. Your wife sounds like she doesn't understand fairness. That's so true, though. Yeah, the moment she said combine and divide, every alarm bell should have gone off. The money was never meant to be shared among all the kids. It was a promise between you and your late wife. Get a trustee ASAP. Okay. I don't see any comments from him, which sucks, because it'd be nice to know that he's done something about this. Yeah. Really, money does crazy things to people. Let's go. One more. We got time for one more. No, that one. I would like to read that, but it's pretty... I'm gonna try not to get too spicy. Okay, here's a good one. I mean, I like the... Oh my gosh, it's long. Okay, here we go. Am I the asshole for telling my husband he can leave me and our newborn and it wouldn't impact our lives? And this is 5 months old, so hopefully we have an update from OP. Of course, I don't see any updates from OP. Okay, either way, let's go. My husband, 32 male, and I, 29 female, have been disagreeing lately about childcare for when I need to return to work full time. He wants to rely on his parents and my mom to watch our son, 3 months old. And I want to enroll him in an infant program at a daycare. I do not want his parents to watch our son for many reasons, but the biggest being his parents aren't capable of watching a newborn for 9 hours, and the fact that they refuse to follow the updated safety guidelines for prevention of SIDS. I think that's the thing where you can, I forget how it happens, maybe you're lying on your stomach. Okay, never mind, just Google SIDS if you're interested. But I know it is something that has been dangerous for babies for forever. Every time I tell them updated information different from how they did it 30 years ago, I get comments like, my kids would have been dead 100 times over nowadays with what I did, or you're letting these guidelines drive you crazy. I added the accent in there because I don't want my son to suffocate due to a blanket or bumpers being in on his bassinet. Okay, that is SIDS, suffocation. To put it in perspective, my in-laws have you the in-laws and I have had in the past, but I don't want this post to be so long. Let's just say his parents purposefully cross boundaries at the expense of others to get what they want. Anyways, the argument between my husband and I got very heated the other night as I was preparing my son's bath on the kitchen counter. As I was finishing filling it with water, my husband was so upset with our disagreement that he took the bath and flipped it over, resulting in water being all over our kitchen and dining room hardwood floors and table. I told him to get the F out of the house and to not come near me or our son. I was baby wearing him at the time. He kept trying to come near me to the point I left through the back door with my son and tried to get in my car to drive away, but my husband stood behind the car, so I couldn't leave. So I just walked away from the house instead so I could feel safe with our son. That's terrifying. Oh my god. Eventually I needed to come back in order to feed our son a bottle. My husband was attempting to clean up the gallons of water he spilled on the floor and all over the documents I had on the table. He said he would finish cleaning up and then leave the house. He left around midnight and didn't come back until 8 p.m. the next day. Sadly, this isn't the first time my husband has acted out of anger. While I was pregnant, he punched a hole in our hallway and then grabbed me, resulting in my shift being ripped. I don't know what that means. He also has knocked my possessions off countertops, resulting in things I cannot replace being broken. He always apologizes and says he'll do better, but I no longer have hope for him. Just the classic. Like, go to therapy. You obviously have anger issues. When he came back the other night, we continued the conversation about childcare and somehow got on the topic of another future baby, which I said I potentially did not want another child due to the dramatic birth of our son. My husband then threatened to divorce me and go have a baby with someone else because his son will be an only child. I flat out told him to file the paperwork without any emotion. Good for you, girl. I told him it wouldn't make a difference if he was here or not, considering if he left for almost 24 hours without any communication and I can manage it all on my own. Do I want our son to have divorced parents? No, I don't, but I also don't want him to grow up around a father who acts out of anger and aggression. I just feel like I've been through enough with him, and for him to now threaten divorce over childcare and potentially not having another baby is absurd in my mind. I know during our arguments I can say nasty things, but I never threatened divorce. Now a few days later, we are trying to continue talking about childcare, but my trust for him and his parents is almost non-existent due to his actions and words. I'm starting to feel like I am the asshole because I said that him leaving would not make the difference. Like deep down, I do not want him to leave, but then I think about how mid-typing this I had to stop to go take out the garbage. It's 5 a.m. before collection, even though he said he did it before he went to bed. I just sometimes think he purposely is incompetent, so I just do everything, probably. If this sounds familiar to you, I suggest talking to someone, a professional, and it sounds like weaponized incompetence, honestly, and I hear this with a lot of my friends. I guess not really anymore, but when I was younger and my friends were dating bad guys, this type of behavior was pretty common. He says I won't have to coordinate with our parents on who's watching our son when during the week, and he would do it. But I know that won't happen, and I will have to end up doing it. I just don't need the extra stress, rather have something consistent. I don't know what to do, or if I am an a-hole for not wanting this life as it is right now for our son. Any advice or words of wisdom are welcome. There was like so many red flags in this post. You definitely need to leave him. When was this posted again? 5 months ago. I'm sure that's what most of the comments are saying. But let's see if I am right to my suspicions, if they're correct. Suspicions. Okay. 5.7k, so 5,700 upvotes. Why am I burping again? is violent, aggressive, and purposefully only damages and breaks your stuff during his rage blackouts. He tried putting his hands on you while you were pregnant, and now while you were holding your baby when he flipped the wash basin. And he wouldn't let you leave or feel safe. He is adamant about his parents watching your child, and they refuse to follow medical advice about SIDS. Why are you with this person? Do you want your son to grow up around a parent who is violently abusive? So true, especially a son. Like, do you want him to model that behavior? And constantly puts his own child in unsafe situations. Please leave while you still can, or very soon, because, or very soon, your BC will conveniently fail. Okay, so he's saying your birth control will fail. Or his condom will break, or he'll force you, and you'll be pregnant with baby number 2, and his abusive actions will keep escalating. You're not the asshole with regards to him and wanting to divorce him. Yeah, and then someone commented under this, OP, ask yourself when he goes on these rages and throws and breaks things, how often are the things he breaks his own treasured possessions? Because I bet money that it's never. That's so true. He wants you to think he's in a blind rage and incapable of thinking about what he's doing, but he's not. He's aware that he only damages your things, not his own. Yeah, and then people are talking about weaponized incompetence. Okay, here's one with 17,000 upvotes. You have way bigger problems than childcare. Your relationship shows numerous flags that you will eventually become a victim of domestic violence. I'm sorry, this is so dark. I hope you're finding it entertaining. But like, this is so common in so many relationships where it just starts at like such a low level, and you don't realize what's happening, and then all of a sudden it's like built up to something that's like really scary. He laid his hands on you, he punched walls, controlling who you can see, gaslighting and manipulating you, controlling your movements, careless disregard for your safety of your child. I'm telling you that you are not as safe with him. If he doesn't leave, you should. Okay, let's just end on that. That was a terrible one. I should have picked a more like funny, fun one to end on, but I hope you have the best night, best day,